Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Town Hall with Mr. Z. It's so good to see people slowly making their way here. I know that we still have some of our elementary folks probably over in their back to school night presentations by grade levels. I think they were running a little long on schedule, but hopefully others will continue to join us. We're here on Facebook in the ASW Parents page. We're also simultaneously presenting on YouTube. Links provided in the weekly update from Monday, as they are each Monday before our town hall, which happens every other week. So we're really happy to have you with us tonight. We've got a program that's focused on some of our wonderful projects that are going on, and a couple in particular that we really want to talk about tonight. And then a broader presentation to talk about our culture of giving. So this is under that umbrella. And I really want to share with you some important work that was approved by the board at its most recent meeting after about a year or so of work in getting some of this ready. And I think tonight is a good night to launch it. A big shout out to PTO before we get too far into it, though, for a wonderful barbecue on the weekend. Absolutely fabulous event. It was great to see everyone out and to connect with as many of you as I could. We all had wonderful food and a great opportunity before the rain started. But even as the rain started, it's just liquid sunshine. And I think we enjoyed our time together, really getting back together for the first time in a very long time in such a special family-oriented way. And I know the kids all had a great time. If you pop over to AS Warriors page on Facebook, you'll see pictures of the dodgeball tournament and the Warriors Athletic Council and their wonderful mustering of that. All of our vendors were amazing in terms of what they brought to our campus. And certainly all of you brought a wonderful spirit to the campus and really made it a fun event for all. So thank you, everyone, for having helped put that together. There were a lot of hands in this, so I can't even begin to list all the names. But certainly PTO's management and focused efforts to make it a fun event for everybody paid dividends in the end, and we all had a great time. All right, with that then, I think I will move to our first project. First became aware of this based on a student's wonderful experience, but I won't do the introduction. Ms. Stalwarts, I'm going to bring you in and join me, and we'll start with you. And maybe while you're introducing this a little bit, I'll bring the other ladies in to join us. So go ahead.
Good afternoon. It's my greatest pleasure to introduce to you Amanda and Heidi and Matilda and Olivia and many other students who are very passionate about the refugees and the situation right now happening with Afghan refugees. They're very active and they wanted to do something to help these people out. So I'll let them speak and explain why they do what they do and what they were able to achieve.
So who gets to kick it off tonight? Who wants to start? Should I guess? Heidi, of course. Heidi, there's your slides, and you just tell me when to advance, but go ahead. It was really exciting when you first shared with me your summer experience, but take it away and tell us all about it.
Yeah, thank you so much. So hello, we are the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which is the United Nations Refugee Agency Global Youth Network, the American School of Warsaw chapter. Next, please. So our main mission is under the umbrella organization of United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees Global Youth Network. We aim to create local solutions to make a global impact. And from my personal experience, the reason I joined this club is because I was part of the United Nations UNHCR Youth Engagement Group during the summer. And I became aware of this project, and I decided to bring this project to the ASW community. Mathilde?
So why should you support UNHCR? The UNHCR Global Youth Network ASW chapter strives to create local impacts. Thus, by donating, you're not only helping refugees in need, but you're helping refugees in Poland. So you should join us every Thursday morning at 7:20 a.m. on the journey to actively respond to the ongoing refugee crisis in Afghanistan. I joined this club mainly because I'd heard so much about this refugee crisis on social media, by my parents, on television, and I also heard from Heidi a lot about it, and it made me interested. It made me want to take action on it. So that's the main reason why I joined. So I'll pass it on to Amanda.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda. So through the UNHCR, we really decided to reach out to other companies in our community to strive to look further than just ASW and share our mission with our community. A few of our members have recognized sources within their reach and connected them to spread the UNHCR's message and receive more donations. So we have reached out to the U.S. Embassy and also Biedronka for donations about food and clothing and all the good stuff. So next slide, please. So the members of our club are myself, Mathilde, Olivia, Anna, Miguel, Chingbei, Marietta, and Heidi. And we'd like to give a big shout out to Robin, Christian, Teddy, and Daniel for lending us a hand, not only at the PTO barbecue, but in just supporting our mission. Next slide, please. So at the PTO barbecue, we were able to raise 940 zloty from donations. And I must say that we did very successfully selling candy and all those good gym vouchers. So thank you so much to everybody who supported. So I personally got involved with this wonderful club because I work primarily with students and athletes with disabilities. And when Heidi reached out to me, I thought, what a great way to branch out from my primarily volunteer work and just like kind of extend out my reach and volunteer for the refugees. And I'd like to pass it on to Olivia now. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Olivia. Here are the list of donations that we are collecting for the Afghan refugees. So first, food for babies like cereals and jars, used cell phones. Please make sure that all the data has been deleted. Phone chargers, outlet converters, warm blankets, slippers and flip-flops, hygienic items for adults like toothpaste, toothbrushes, shaving supplies, etc., and sanitary napkins. Next slide, please. And here is the refugee camp that we're sending all of these donations to. It's in a city called Linen. It's about 30 minutes by car from our school. It's a small town close to the capital of Poland. And the refugee center is located there. The refugee center located there is the biggest refugee center in the country. And Poland has accepted the Afghan refugees to this refugee camp. So we are planning on to collect the donations and send it to this refugee camp. Next slide. So that's it. Thank you so much for your donations. And I would like to thank the PTO and also just the whole school for supporting our club. I would like to say that I joined this club because I just saw a lot of news on the TV about the situation in Afghanistan, and I really felt bad, but I didn't know how to help. And I thought this club would be a really good way to reach out to them and help them with all the donations. So I really encourage all of you to join our club. Thank you.
Well, girls, it's just fabulous what you're doing out there. And certainly you weren't the only activity that was at the PTO barbecue. I think everyone that had a different fundraiser or a different activity out there was having great interactions with the parents and the crowd. Can any of you talk about any conversations that you had with some of the parents that walked up to your booth and what some of the questions were that they had as they were sitting there talking to you? Heidi, do you remember anybody walking up and chatting with them about this?
I personally was in the JOMAN conference with Olivia.
Oh, that's right. You guys were doing the MUN conference as well. Who was at the table? Was it Amanda or Matilda?
Yeah, I was there. One of the things that really really struck me was that we really need to get more word out about our donations, because I had a mom come up to me and she's like, I think what you're doing is great, and I'd love to donate. Do you guys need clothes? And I said, no, one of the things that we actually don't need is clothing. So I think it's really important to raise awareness about the donations that we actually really do need. So that was one of the conversations that I definitely remembered.
So again, staying in tune with us, and I think you had some stuff in eNotes tonight as well. So knowing what it is that we're looking for and how to make sure we get the right things at the right time is an important part of this process. So I thank you guys for the wonderful job with all of the promotional literature that you've been putting out to keep us engaged. And this is a constantly changing list because we're in communication with them and they're expressing their needs to us as the situation changes and as more people are potentially coming and as they're finding out new needs. Right now, the baby items and some of those kinds of items mean that we are dealing with a number of children in the refugee camp, and certainly that's a point that all of us are concerned about in terms of taking care of children as the weather is cooling off here. The needs are going to be changing as time goes on, I'm quite sure. Anything else that you're learning from this as you reach out in terms of the scope of this? Do you have a sense of any of you have a sense of the number of people that they're dealing with down there, and who else is involved in this project?
So I can take this. We do know that there is about 900 Afghanistan refugees in Poland right now. So that is a huge number. And there's, of course, lots of women, children, and men. That's why we definitely need some of the hygiene products. We already have a lot, mountains of diapers, which is absolutely amazing. But we also need to provide hygiene products for women.
Yep, got it.
And if Amanda can talk a little bit more about how she reached to the American Embassy and asked about, because the group is also reaching out to companies like Biedronka and trying to get as many sponsors as possible. Amanda, you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I reached out to like the communications office at the embassy because I was like, oh my goodness, what a great way. There are so many people in the embassy, and I know that it's very volunteer oriented as well. So that was a really great resource for me to use. And then I also I sent out like a public service announcement to my neighborhood, and I put a box on my porch, and we have received a couple of donations of for women's sanitary products right now. So that was really great. And I think it's important to look for other ways to not only through school, but through our communities to get those donations and spread our message.
And I think you also have a message to send out to your other students, although they're not necessarily big watchers of the town hall. I know that. Some of them may watch the recording secretly so that they stay abreast of things. But I think you have a message for your classmates. And what's that?
We definitely would like students to join our club.
There you go.
Even though it's in the mornings, but this is definitely for a great cause. We put messages through the high school bulletin already. We posted posters, and definitely it's a great experience. It's super fun. We definitely also urges the juniors and seniors to join us.
Yeah, we always look to trying to create sustainability for these kinds of efforts. So we're always looking for students that are coming up to be able to fill your roles as you guys hand off your leadership to others when you get to the end of your year or as you move on. So it's great to see that you're building that in. And the play here is parents, please encourage your kids to get involved. If you have a child who's looking for an interesting activity to be involved in, this one doesn't conflict with our after school activities program. So it allows you to do this. As you hear, many of these kids are involved in other activities and sports after school. So I understand the choosing of the morning time because it's a little bit easier to get together. But if you have somebody who's looking for an opportunity to demonstrate some leadership and do some good work for a community and an urgent need that's happening right now, connected to United Nations, which we have fairly strong connections to for a variety of things that we do, please give them a nudge and say, show up for a meeting and join this group on their journey, because I think it's one that's just getting started and has lots of room to grow. And as Ms. Legita, we should also share that we have lots of these types of activities going on throughout the school all year long. We have our long-standing partnerships with the Blind School and with various other charities. Anything going on those fronts right now? I know we had staff just recently doing some handing out of things downtown as well. We had some clothing drives and some other things going on there too, right?
there is a teacher initiative. It's related to Smile Warsaw, and this is basically donating food for and serving food for the homeless people. But I also am in contact with parents. Magdalena, I don't know if Magdalena is on this chat. They, organizing a group that will serve the sandwiches and baked goods for a homeless shelter as well. So not only students do that, but also parents are very active. Also, the PTO supports the homeless shelter selling their book, the cookbook, and encourage everybody to buy that, because the greatest need right now in the homeless shelter is slippers, and I know PTO will donate, will dedicate some funds to do that. But students work a lot, and we have, as Mr. Z mentioned, we have a connection with the School for the Blind. We have Warsaw Volunteer Mission. Actually, tomorrow I will have a representative from Warsaw Volunteer Mission. They're coming to collect all the baked goods that our students made last week, and they will deliver those to the meeting on Sunday. So we have that. We have we work with the orphanage, and in May we donated quite a lot of board games to the orphanage. They were translated by our students from English to Polish, and we have some really good reviews. Kids love playing those games, so it's a lot of happening right now, and the students very busy. We actually will participate in the first coming CISA conference this Friday and Saturday. It's called Expand Your Impact, and it's all about connecting students from other schools, from CISA schools, to design their own projects. They will actually be able to learn about how to design a service project, how to advertise it, and how to really make a big impact together with students from other schools.
And this is a new initiative in CISA, and then regionally, we also have Global Issues Network that's hanging in the backdrop, and we've been organizing with various other entities to really have that global impact. It's really about changing the world for the better. So we do look for opportunities to find synergy with other schools, with other organizations, and really reach beyond our boundaries. So wonderful stuff going on. And there's a few others, but I think first I'm going to say good night to the ladies. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for sharing your project with us, and thanks for your amazing work in helping to support our refugees. Parents, it's time to help out now and watch for the messages and e-notes and the follow-up work that I know these four will do, along with all the other members of their club, in keeping you informed on what we need so that you can all help and participate. Thanks, ladies. Have a wonderful evening. There. Okay, it's me for a moment here, and I just want to make sure, I'd be remiss if I didn't also share with you the other projects that we saw at the PTO fair. We had another refugee project that was there, sharing their information with you. We also had a project by the Cooking Club that's aimed at moving equipment to some areas of Jordan, and we're trying to work out logistics. I think there were some wonderful contacts made, but again, parents, we're looking for corporate or leadership support for the club in their efforts to move computer equipment to some needy individuals in Jordan. And again, I don't have all the details with me. I'm sure they'll be on a future edition to come join me. But please keep us in mind for that. I know there's a dozen other things that I'm forgetting, but there's just always a raft of projects going on. And in that vein, I want to share with you a few additional slides tonight about our Culture of Giving program. And it's important for me to really give you a sense of how we're trying to organize this work and bring it more broadly to the entire community. So if you'll bear with me while I change slides here, I just want to bring this up on the screen and share with you how we're trying to organize our Culture of Giving work. Now, I know you can't read the text here, and I don't expect you to, but we want to build a large umbrella for our giving work and also reach out to our partners in the broader community. And I'm talking adult partners now in terms of corporations and organizations that can work with us here at ASW to support this kind of work, both that our students are doing in their giving and giving back, but also in their learning through ways in which we can partner with you on a variety of projects. And some of this is also about supporting the school in its goals. But, you know, our core values remain at the center of all of this. And we see that as a wonderful launch pad for talking about how we grow partnerships and how we grow together broader than just the school walls, how we reach outside. That's always been an objective of ours, to reach further and farther with the work that we do at ASW that sets a standard for what kids we hope will weave into their lives as they go beyond our boundaries and into their extended studies, other schools around the world, and off into life. We work together on the culture of giving one step at a time. So we're looking, how do we expand this and how do we grow it? And ultimately at the base of this, as I wrote in eNotes tonight, it's because without us all, we're nothing. We do want to do this work together, and we want to capitalize on that togetherness. In order to help facilitate that, we do have an ASW Foundation. We want to expand its reach and also utilize it in a more effective way to support the donations for the work we do and help to establish them as tax-deductible donations. We want to expand this. We also want to build some work in endowments that will help to provide for scholarships, both for our own students as well as for students who want to and are willing and able to attend ASW. We've had programs like this in the past at ASW, deeper history than my time here, but certainly it's on record that we've had robust scholarship and grant programs at ASW that helps us, again, find ways to develop people and change the world for the better. There are benefits to becoming a partner with ASW on this front, and we see tremendous opportunity for us to build together. As we've been talking about, there's lots of charitable events and activities on our calendar, things that we do all the time that are woven into our way of learning. Our way of learning under the IB umbrella is to deeply understand how we give back and how we become part of a very complex and dynamic world, how we become responsible global citizens. And you've heard about that last night at the upper school back to school night, and certainly tonight in the elementary, as we talk about principled learners, as we talk about open-mindedness, as we talk about international mindedness. All of these things are kind of core precepts of our overall IB program as it weaves from the primary years to the middle years and to the diploma program. So we're excited about having this opportunity to then put that into fruition. So we are ready to talk to individual donors to help us with projects. Certainly, we are also talking about corporate partnerships and social responsibility objectives that we can partner on in terms of doing good work out in the community. We have opportunities within our framework for branding and sponsorship in order to support companies in their goals by also showcasing them as part of our community. And we think those things coming together, and along with project cooperation on the things that we do to continue to enhance our environment here, provide opportunities for our kids to explore talents, to build skills, and to be able to give back to the community. We also very much embrace the idea of mentoring and internships, where our graduates or our near graduates, our kids coming up in the high school, are able to come out into your corporations and learn from you on the job, supporting your interests, but at the same time bringing those skills and knowledge back to their own capabilities and taking them forward from their learning here. We see many in our midst, and we have many corporations represented here that align with our values, and that can be wonderful opportunities for our kids to see real world in alignment with our core value of making the whole world their classroom. We actively look for those opportunities for mentoring and internship, bringing you on site, as well as sending our kids to you to learn. Now, of course, COVID's going to keep us a little bit limited in this regard in the short term, but we want to build our network now for the long term and continue to explore how we can grow this over time. That gives you just a little taste of our culture of giving. We really do want you to be ready to share this out with others. This corporate partnership allows companies to invest in us and in our work and build those relationships for the long term, in keeping with the relationships that we build at every level, whether it's from teacher to parent, or from administrator to parents, or from myself to the entire community. Those relationships are critically important to us, and we want to expand that reach into the corporate community and become partners in doing good work on all of these various projects, whatever they may be, whether it's taking care of refugees today, or building houses, or developing environments for the future, or doing environmental projects. For those of you in the elementary presentation, as well as the high school last night, you saw examples of how we're doing things in our environment to also build an understanding of how we coexist on a planet together. And those are wonderful learnings that kids will carry forward throughout their entire life. So again, I encourage you to look for opportunities to connect with us. If you have ideas or thoughts, reach out to me. But that is our culture of giving umbrella as it continues to develop, and we look for you to continue to support us and find opportunities to engage with us on broader objectives as we continue to grow and move forward. With that, I'll switch to questions. We don't have Dr. O here tonight. We gave him a nice, well-needed break, and so he'll be back with us in 2 weeks, but I'm still ready to field any questions that you might have about culture of giving, about our presentations, about things here at school. Please pop them into the Facebook chat or into the YouTube window. We really enjoy all of the things that you bring to us, and all of our opportunity to dialogue with you on any questions that you might have. Please share with me any questions that you might have. Got lots of wonderful comments about how thrilled people are with these various initiatives. Thank you, Mr. Flatiger, for your reach out, and thanking ES families for joining us tonight for Back to School Night. The same thank you to parents who joined for upper school last night. Despite our little bit of a technical glitch, we really enjoyed making sure that you were all there. There's Mr. Flatiger and there's Mr. Sheehan. Thank you for joining us last night. So again, building that partnership, I wrote about that tonight, how important the parent and school partnership is, and making sure that learning isn't bound by the walls of the school. It enters the home, it enters the environment, it goes with you to the grocery store, to wherever you're living life. School and learning is part of that. And it's a wonderful testament to all of your involvement and engagement in our meetings tonight. I popped around to various grade level meetings. Certainly was in the crowd last night. Wonderful participation. Thank you, parents, for joining us, and thank you for continuing to show your trust in us. Again, any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat. I am monitoring so that I can jump on it right away. Please let me know if you have any questions tonight. Looks like maybe we're going to have a short one tonight. And I know that many are probably screen tired after being part of the elementary back to school night. So let's, oh, we got one question here. Let's see what we got. Mr. Sheehan asked at the forum last night about our ability to welcome parents to be at the audience of the high school musical in October. Well, parents on campus are something that we've been researching since early on. Dr. O and I have been actively talking about it. We did a trial with our parent gathering at the Marriott, where we used entry testing as a methodology for assuring everyone, whether vaccinated or not, that we were catching any potential risk for the community. So we're discussing right now whether that might be possible for selected events throughout the year. It's not something we can use broadly, but certainly it is something we're considering. Additionally, and we've announced this many times before, but we've never been able to bring it into fruition because there hasn't been a strong enough interest in it. So I'm going to go out there and ask for parents to give me another survey round on this question. And that's a parent subscription program to our testing regime, our weekly testing. So if parents are willing to do the daily attestation, just like your kids, so you can make it a family affair, and also pop in the mornings between 8 and 10, or during the day on Tuesday, we're thinking a 1 day a week scenario, and do the weekly testing, then we can start approving parents for access to the school. Again, I'm interested in your comments and thoughts on that. The caution is we're still seeing breakthrough infections, both for those that have been previously ill with COVID, they're getting sick again, and we are seeing some breakthrough in vaccinated population. Now, the good news is the vaccinated population tends to have a milder case, and it's not as significant as it would be if you are not vaccinated. But I do encourage you, if you haven't been vaccinated, to consider it, because all of the research and statistics suggest that it's superior to natural immunity, and that there's a lot of strong data that's emerging on the effects of the Delta variant in causing breakthrough as well as reinfection 6 to 8 months post vaccination or post illness. Again, Dr. O would be better answering that in a deeper way in terms of the medical science. But in terms of our strategies and what we're prepping, we're looking for ways to start bringing elements of parent involvement back into the school. We are watching Poland's numbers right now, and they are on an upward trend. Now, we're still probably the best country in the EU right now. I can't say that for sure, but I know we are far better than many countries that we've been looking at on the online statistics. But the upward trend line has everyone cautious. And I think that's the word to use for the moment. I think in 2 weeks' time, we'll have a much better picture of what we can potentially start to consider. So if everyone will be patient, I think we will take a look at what might be possible for selected events in the short term, and the more distinctive changes to protocol in the longer term when we have a little bit better and clearer picture. So I don't know if that totally answers the question, but I hope that at least gets it in your minds that we are considering things, and we are looking at things, and we're trying to find the right balance in our layers of protection to make sure we're doing the right thing to keep all of us safe, your kids included. I will say thank you to parents who are turning in immunization documentation. I sent a direct email to those that we hadn't registered in our system yet, and that has yielded an amazing response. And I can report tonight that we've hit 65% vaccination in our 12 plus age range. Also, please watch for communication and a survey to suggest whether we want an additional vaccination opportunity, COVID-19 vaccination opportunity, because the government approved today, or within the last day or so, booster shots for those who are under certain parameters. And I think it's a 6-month timeline right now. I don't want to quote anything because this is all brand new. But I've already been reached by our vaccination partner, and they have vaccinations ready to go. So our thought is another vaccination opportunity, actually 2 dates with a gap in between. But on that first date, people who are eligible for a booster would have an opportunity to come in. And that is our goal, is to get additional vaccination opportunities. Although I will tell you, the general availability in the medical community seems to be robust right now. So, look at us as being an additional option, but don't wait for us. If you see opportunity emerge, take advantage of it if it's right for you and for your family at any given time. The other one, remember, is to keep penciled in October 16th. We're still hopeful that we're going to work towards that date for flu vaccination. And so we believe we will have access to flu vaccination for children, the nasal variety, so that we're not dealing with injections. It's a proven methodology for offering flu vaccination. And so we're finalizing the details, and there will be a cost associated with it. We're doing it in a way that we hope will minimize that cost. But we'll be putting a survey out shortly for those interested in mass flu vaccination. And we'll have a partner that will also hopefully provide adult vaccination in the inoculation style that'll be here as well, so that you can get the whole family done all at once. But again, we're working towards that, as well as these COVID opportunities to again continue to serve our community. We are hopeful of additional vaccination, and we are also hopeful of vaccination for 5 to 11 for those that want it. Again, this is medically proven as a way of avoiding serious illness. And certainly the data is proving that out in all of the research that we're looking at. So we'll continue pushing out information so that you can digest that on your own. Thank you to those who filled out the survey and gave me more information on why you're not choosing to vaccinate. That's really helpful to me in understanding more of your concerns. Again, we'll continue to push out information and make sure that you're kept fully informed of vaccination, its importance, and why it is a good choice. And then you can consider that in making your decisions. Hopefully that kind of gives you a rounded picture. We're doing lots of dialogue and discussion. We're also talking at the CISA level. Dr. O and I recently presented to CISA on our current strategies and kind of the look forward on vaccines and other things on the horizon, and sharing some of the numbers and statistics. And it was very helpful to all of the directors across the region. And certainly we glean from them also what's happening in different countries around the CISA region. It's a wide spectrum. And so be aware that while the international schools are kind of generally on the same page, there's a wide range of decisions in each country according to its circumstances. And we're monitoring all of that across the region. So again, just in the form of update, we'll have much cleaner numbers in 2 weeks' time and be able to share with you far more detail about the plan going forward, including our update on our intentions for the October break. So hopefully that helps a little bit and gives everybody additional insight. I will again bring Dr. O back in 2 weeks so that we can present together on the various things that we're doing. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions in the stream, and I know you, again, have had a long night, especially our elementary parents who've already been on since about 6 o'clock. So I'll let you go tonight to a wonderful evening with your family. Please reach out to me directly if you have any follow-up questions or any things you'd like to discuss. I'm very good about quickly responding to parents who write to me, and I look forward to that. That's a way I like to keep connection with you. So please do reach out to me at your discretion. With that, I'll say farewell and have a wonderful evening.